You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers about hikers for everybody.
This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we hang out and talk about everything from hammocks and hammock camping to the group hangs from around the country. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where we unwind, relax, and delve into all things hammock related. Join us as we swing into the world of hammocks, exploring tips and tricks for setting up that perfect hang, sharing stories of outdoor adventures, and discovering the latest trends in hammock camping and relaxation. Whether you're a seasoned hammocker or new to the art of hanging, this podcast is your cozy corner to kick back, escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and soak in the soothing atmosphere of the hammock culture. Prepare to be inspired, educated, and entertained as we embrace the hammock lifestyle together. So grab your favorite hammock, find that perfect spot to hang, and let's embark on a hammock-filled journey that will leave you feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the world. This is the Hammock Hangers Podcast, where every episode is a breath of fresh air. Let's get started. All right, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode. I am your host, Paul Collins, and this week I actually have AJ back with us. What's up, Phoenix? So yeah, last week AJ decided to abandon everybody and take his family out camping. So that's
sounds
what
like
we are going.
Start of a really bad horror movie.
For who? You or them?
I mean, yes. We'll just say yes.
So, well, let's we're gonna talk about that and see how that went. I see that you made it back. Did the rest of the family?
They did. No one died.
Well, that's a plus.
No one died. I mean,
that's a plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually you that I worry about.
I mean, I had I didn't leave anything. I didn't. We had everything packed. There was nothing that we did not bring on the trip that I wish we had brought. Did everything go exactly like I wanted to? No.
Did your tarp actually have the guy lines this time?
Yes, I made sure that I had guy lines. In fact, I had extra guy lines just in case, if some odd, unusual reason, the tarps that I had for the rest of my family magically didn't have guy lines. But no, we were good. We were good.
Okay, so everybody had their hammocks, everybody had their tarps, everybody had their quilts.
Yeah.
Well, that's a plus. You did good, AJ.
I did good. Well, let's not say I did good quite yet, but no one died. No one died. So,
did y'all go? Y'all went back out to Hidden Pond again, or
we
where'd
did?
Y'all go?
So, my son and I have gone to Hidden Pond in the past, but he was like 7. He's 14 now, and that outing also was not bad. It was also not. Mistakes were made. Let's just say mistakes were made.
Trying to see a pattern with Hidden Pond and mistakes.
No. Usually the biggest issue with the first time that we went out there was, normally it's Florida. It's always hot. Sometimes, in fact, up until that point, I had never brought an underquilt out to Hidden Pond just because I don't need it because it's Florida. And that particular trip, the temperature was supposed to get down to, I think, 67. And 67 is like my Rubicon. It is beyond that point, I'm perfectly fine. Beyond that, lower that point, I need underquilt. And so I was looking, it's like, oh, well, we should be fine. We were not fine. We totally went to bed, and about 2 a.m., my son at 7, I can't imagine my son doing it now. He's about as tall as I am and weighs more than I do, crawling in the hammock and literally just laying on me, and I was his underquilt. Needless to say, my rear end was not being warmed by Jack. And so while he may have slept roasty toasty, my butt froze at 67 degrees.
And you couldn't turn or move or anything.
I couldn't do
you?
squat. So like I said, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
Funny. That's funny.
But obviously it wasn't the bad enough that he didn't want to go back.
Right.
So yeah, my daughter had never.
But that was when he was 7, though, right?
Yes, that's when he was 7. So it's been a while.
And then, so this time it was all y'all. Yeah,
it was me, my son, my daughter, and my wife.
Okay.
Who my wife has never done. I mean, we've done camping forever. We've always been camping, even before we were married. We would go tent camping. I mean, like big tent camping, not like backpacking camping.
Okay.
And my daughter had never been on a backpacking trip at all. And this was our spring break. So I said, hey, I kind of want to do this. I was bouncing back and forth between taking them on a backpacking trip or maybe do a bikepacking trip just myself. Maybe inviting you guys out too. But we decided to just do a family backpacking hammock trip. So, well, I take that back. It was me, my wife and kids, and my father-in-law came out just for one of the nights. He only stayed one night and hiked back. But since I had just hiked from Pat's Island south, and I kind of knew that trail was good, there wasn't any harsh debris, it was very well maintained, I figured that would be a good intro into backpacking and hiking for not only my wife but also my kids as well. I mean, it's hiking. It involves like a backpack that you've got to pack out your water, you've got to pack out your gear, like everything. So I really wanted to make this a really successful trip for a lot of different reasons. For one, I wanted it to become something that we do normally, other than just remember that trip we went on that sucked? Yeah. Right. I didn't want it to become that.
Right.
So one of the things that we did was when we were packing, I took the kids to Walmart, and I didn't know exactly. They're kind of sort of picky eaters, more so my daughter than my son. But we went to the pasta aisle in Walmart, and I said, look at these Knorr sides. Pick one or two that look really, really good to you. So they ended up picking 2, basically that were the same thing, just different shaped noodles. It's like garlic parm or cheesy garlic or something along those lines. And we picked up one of those that they were going to split, and because they were 2 servings. And we picked up 2 packs of the packet chicken, something along those lines, which they now have like packet beef and stuff too. So
I haven't seen that. I've seen the chicken and the chicken and tuna.
Yeah, the ones I've seen. Tuna. So the chicken I've used for a while, but yeah, they've had maybe like ham or stuff like that too. So I mean, beyond like Spam, which is a staple for me. Like if it's just me, like for lunch, I'll do the Spam singles with a little bit of mustard.
That's the only time that I can eat Spam is whenever I'm camping. I don't know what it is. I cannot eat Spam at the house.
I 100% agree. Now no, I take that back. If I'm making fried rice or something at home, like a slab of Spam cooked really, really well on the outside, like crispy, like diced up and thrown into fried rice.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe you just need to try some of the flavored versions. The maple is really good.
Yeah, because all I've ever eaten is the original Spam type stuff.
You need to investigate the flavors, expand your horizons.
Okay, I might try that.
It might even taste a little bit better than Scrapple. I doubt it, but
like the regular Spam tastes better than Scrapple.
You should be fried. So your little hoax that you did at HangCon, the little sticker that you put on my truck.
What sticker?
Yeah. So I didn't tell this on the last one, and I didn't mention it in my video either, but I was driving to the trailhead. Yeah. Some lady stopped me at a stoplight. Signaled me for roll down my windows, and they're like, what is Crapple? And I'm
what is Crapple?
Lord. supposed to be Scrapple, but the S is really, really tiny because
That's-
I was going to say my partner is a butthole, but that didn't sound quite right when I
No,
put
it
it all
wouldn't have.
together. So, yeah.
That is
So
funny.
I did get approached about I
Your
love
crapple?
eating Scrapple,
The
but
crapple?
the S is really, really small. So it just looks like I eat Crapple.
I need to post that picture in the show notes.
I love you so much. So much. But
Oh
anyway,
god!
so
I wonder if
digress.
Jason's got any comments.
That is true. Hey,
I'm gonna have to talk to him.
Scrapple Appreciation Society represent. Don't care. Don't care.
Oh, that's funny.
So as far as food goes, the kids got some choice in what they had.
Right.
The only thing that I would change as far as what we did with the kids' meals were if you're doing the north sides, which I've done for years because it's stupid cheap, and it's really, really easy. It is so much cheaper than any backpacking meal.
Definite. I mean, other than ramen, but yeah.
I would cut. So like if a recipe called for like there was called for like milk too. Obviously we weren't going to bring milk and we weren't going to bring milk powder. I was just
add a little more water. No,
actually cut the liquid down by a half a cup.
Really?
So like a lot of them used I think they essentially like 2 cups of liquid, cup of water, cup of milk, whatever.
Yeah.
I cut it down to a cup and a half.
Okay.
And that way it boiled up. And I got to cook it. I didn't exactly like come into a boil. I actually like cooked it pretty much the entire time. I just turned my burner on really, really low as it would go, and just cooked it for like the 7 minutes or whatever. But it was able to cook a lot of that water off. We didn't do that the first night, and they end up having more like a pasta soup. It didn't really cook out all that well. But I mean, but also it works good with the chicken packets. Put that in, and kind of like the oils from the chicken and like the brine or whatever they have in there. It's kind of like it adds the oil that you would normally use.
Okay.
I mean, you could add like milk powder and stuff to it to give you more of that cheesy or like some
just a little creamier texture.
Yeah, a little bit creamier, but it worked. It worked. We tried. Well, I had for me and my wife, all the backpacking meals that I have are 2 servings. And me and Sleevey wonder we cannot put down 2 servings of backpacking meals. So we ended up splitting, and we did Mountain House breakfast skillet for one of the breakfast mornings, because even though I have a Peak Refuel breakfast skillet,
which is the best freaking breakfast skillet, I think.
My wife saw that it had peppers and onions, and she's like, "No, I'm not eating that." But I mean, the Mountain House also has peppers and onions on it, but it's a weird texture. I mean, it's edible. As far as like backpacking meals go, it works in a pinch, but it wasn't exactly something I'm like, I'm really looking forward to that. So as far as the breakfast and stuff for the kids, so we talked about, we did north sides for dinner. For breakfast, we did oatmeal. And I think we did the breakfast skillet. I think I had 2 Mountain House breakfast skillets. So we did that one morning for both of us, and that worked out. They ate it, even though it had peppers and onions in it. Whatever. My family's taste buds are pretty Caucasian.
Bland.
Yeah, pretty bland. They're white folk. They are white folk.
Just add cumin to it.
Yeah, just add some cumin to it. Yeah. Anyway, so we did oatmeal the second night. It's easy. You can make it in the packet. You don't even have to mess up any dishes. So that's always a great go-to. Is just the instant oatmeal. It's like boom, 2 packs, boom, boom, you're done.
Oh yeah,
hit the trail. As far as lunch, what do we do for lunch? I'll talk about what me and my wife did for lunch here in a second. For the kids, what did we do? I know we did a lot of like snack stuff. Oh, we did. I got some of the freezer Uncrustables, like PB&J Uncrustables,
Oh yeah.
that they really don't need to be refrigerated. So they were
No.
frozen, and I took them out, threw them in the pack when we left the house, and they made it. So they had 2 of those for lunch, and they were good to go. So I didn't have to cook anything. I just had a little bit of trash from like the wrappers, threw in my trash bin. Good to go. No cooking
Right.
involved. That was
Okay.
awesome. Totally would do that again. And so, if you're looking for easy backpacking stuff that kids eat, got plenty of calories, plenty of like proteins and stuff like that, is it the most healthiest thing in the world? No, but you're backpacking. You want to make stuff that kids like, and so you want to encourage them. So, yeah, I would totally do that again. All right. I tried to be nice. I really did when I made my video. So as you know,
Yeah, because you have another video coming out, right?
I do have another video coming out. It'll probably be
actually
out before,
it'll probably be out before this
before
podcast,
release.
this episode.
So if you haven't already seen this, the HangCon the Hammock Hangers podcast adventure vlog episode 2, check that out. You can kind of go through all of this, but I tried to be nice. I really did. But as you know, we ordered some food, like good to go meals. I ordered a few different brands of backpacking foods. I was like, hey, I'm going to try things out, see what I like, see what I don't like. So I ordered a slew of meals from a company out of Maine. All the ingredients you can read on paper. It looks really good. They're all like vegetarian and pescatarian and stuff like that. That's fine. I've had really great meals that are vegetarian. It doesn't really bother me. Oh, so the very first video.
What'd you have?
I had the very first video, if people haven't seen, I had pad thai. And I was not in the mood to go vegetarian, so luckily I threw some I think Jack Link's like tender bites that were teriyaki flavored, threw that in while I was rehydrating. That saved that meal. It was not good. It wasn't bad. It just literally it tasted like rice noodles, shrimp paste, and cumin. Like that's what it tastes like. Like there wasn't like lime juice or something. There was. It needed a lot more than a pack of hot sauce to save it. All right.
No, that was when you went out a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, so that was my solo trip.
That was your first one, your solo one.
So I said, all right, well, I've got these other ones. Maybe that one was just a fluke, because any brand is gonna give you some that you're just like, hey, that's just not my favorite. So I was like, all right, well, I got a bunch of other ones. I'm gonna give it a fair try. So the second one we took, my wife did a kale and white bean stew. Okay,
that
sounds good.
No, it don't.
I mean, I like kale for one, and I've had some good bean stew. I mean, we don't call it stew where I grew up; we just call it beans. But if you want to call it stew, that's fine. Whatever.
Stew's just a little bit thicker.
Yeah, just a little bit thicker. And I had this roasted corn chowder. Again, I've had corn chowder, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, it's my first kind of like WTF when I was reading the ingredients. It had bonito flakes in it. And for those of you that don't know what bonito flakes is, bonito is a fish.
Know. Okay.
So it's like a smoked fish or dried fish or whatever. So I was like, that's interesting, but maybe it'll add some umami. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to roll with it. Oh, Paul.
So
now I will.
That was your favorite. So that's been your favorite so far, is what you're saying?
No, far from it. So another good thing that I like about these good to go meals, they are one serving, not two. So we can each have our own individual ones, even though sharing was no big thing for us.
And there's not a lot of waste when you
don't. It was not a lot of waste. Oh, but there was waste. So, Dawn, she did the kale and white bean, and it, for one, now backpacking meals can be like weird textures, but it's just more about the flavor. You're just kind of like, there's a lot of water that didn't really rehydrate. So that stew was definitely at very best a soup.
So a lot of the stuff didn't take in the water.
So a lot of stuff didn't take in the water.
Okay.
And, you know, again, growing up in the South, there is a distinct difference between soup and stew.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They're a very different consistency. This was no stew. Okay. So hers, again, it did not taste bad. It just didn't taste like anything. Like I could have eaten it and like made it work. It would definitely have needed hot sauce. But she did not finish it, nor did I. Now, this corn chowder.
Let's talk about the corn chowder.
Let's not talk about the corn chowder. The corn chowder was a hard no. When I opened up the bag, even before I put the water in it, I was just like, that smells like fish food. And so I rehydrated it. Also, definitely not a chowder, which is essentially a Yankee stew.
Right.
It's just what our northern folk call stew. Chowder. It was a soup. It was a soup at best that smelled like fish. I took one bite and I'm just like, and I am not a picky eater. I will eat at Team Scrapple. I will eat pretty much anything. No, Paul.
Oh,
nope.
That's bad. That's
Me
bad.
And Sleepy Wonder said there is no amount of hot sauce that is saving this meal.
That is bad when you can eat Scrapple. And what's the other crap that you eat?
Delicious food.
No, a Scrapple and something else.
Pork roll?
No, the pork roll's good. I like
Spam?
No, it was something else that you and Jason was talking about. I think
I've eaten plenty of things, but this corn chowder that had bonito flakes in it, that's a hard no for me, friend. That is a hard no. So I have some other ones.
I just was fixing to ask you how many you got left of that brand, and what.
It's not looking good, Paul. I think I've got two. Or three
with the way you talk, I'm
ones.
hesitant on asking you what flavors.
I don't even know. Like, I'm not looking forward to it. I'll do it and I'll do a review on it, but I'm just going to be completely honest that they're not. It's
so is that the only meals that you had, or did you take any?
So, all right. So okay. Let's go to highlights. This whole episode may be about my dietary functions in this whole adventure. But no, we had for our first night for dinner, we had a Peak Refuel beef stroganoff.
Oh, that's amazing. One of my favorites. That's one of my favorites. Amazing. Yeah.
Now, if I would have added hot sauce, yes. Would it made it better? Yes. My wife wouldn't have eaten it. However, it did not need it. It was just more. I would have added maybe a little bit more water to it, which I was really surprised. Like, the Peak Refuels take a lot less water than the Mountain Houses or even the and they're 2 servings. I think
they have a lot
one was
of
like 3/4 of a cup. The other one was 2/3 of a cup. I was like shocked. I might have added a little bit more water than what they call for, but not too much. Like, it could be a little thinner, and I would have enjoyed it. But it was delicious. It was delicious.
Well, I think I was whenever I was talking to you earlier, with the Peak Refuel, and I think it has to do with the amount of food that they have in the bags.
Mm-hmm.
I always take and pour the boil my water and pour it in, stir it up real good, make sure I get down into the little cracks and crevices and all that stuff, and then I'll seal it up and I'll let it sit. And then a couple of minutes before time, the allotted amount of time, I open it and I stir it again and then let it sit. And most time I let it sit for about a minute or two longer than what they even suggest. And it usually turns out spot on when you do that.
Yeah, I was
which
super
I
happy.
think, like I said, I think with the amount of food that they put in the bags, that might be why that works better, because you're stirring it up and it's you're getting moisture everywhere. You're just stirring that moisture around.
Yeah.
So try that next time and see if that works better for you.
Yeah, I've got some more, and I'm definitely going to be ordering more of the Peak Refill just for me personally.
Yeah.
The second night, we had what is it? Pesto chicken pasta.
Yep.
And you're hearing this first here, folks. It is the first backpacking meal that I can honestly say would not have benefited from hot sauce. It was perfect, just the way that it was.
And that was the Peak Refuel as well.
Yeah,
correct?
It was a Peak Refuel as well. It tasted just as good as if I'd have made it home. The chicken was a little spongy-esque, but I didn't care. It was delicious. It was delicious.
Yeah, I have not had a bad Peak Refuel meal yet, and I've pretty much tried them all. The only ones that I have not tried are the granola breakfast deals that they have, because I'm not a real big fan of granola. I know that.
Yeah.
And then the only dinner that I have not tried is the coconut curry. What is it? Coconut curry? I do believe.
Yeah.
But I
love some curry.
See, I don't like coconut, and curry is not one of my favorites. I can eat it.
You just don't like cumin.
I think that might be what it is.
That might be
to be honest with you, that might be what it is. I'm not a real big fan of cumin.
So, yeah, my father-in-law, he had Peak Refuel's chicken and rice, and like that was his go-to.
Yeah.
Like his that and the beef stroganoff, he would switch back and forth between.
The Alfredo's real good too.
But
Alfredo, the chili mac.
Yeah, you told me about the chili mac. I can imagine the chili mac would be good. Yeah. But the Peak Refuels were like wonderful. So I've got a few other flavors that I'm ordering, and maybe when this episode comes out, me and you, unless by some act of God our plane does not make it across the creek, we are going to be in Denmark.
Yeah, because
when this releases.
Yeah, because this should be the 26th.
Yeah. So we will be in full Denmarkian mode, and I think there's some trail food over there. So I'm hoping to maybe catch up with some of the vendors over there to catch some of their stuff.
Denmarkian.
So that is a term that my son has coined, because they have a foreign exchange student at their school, and that's what they have given him the title of Denmarkian.
Denmarkian?
Yes. Because we already know the people from Denmark are not Dutch. They are Danes.
Right. So,
and I hope I'm saying that right. And they do not speak Dutch. They speak Danish.
Denmarkian.
That it just flows off the tongue. Denmark.
Well, okay. So we know that Christian and Lars both listen to the podcast.
That's fine. I love them both, and it's definitely from.
So
a place of love.
They will let us know if Denmarkian is a legitimate term.
Yes.
Or if they're just going to laugh at you.
Yes. So my son is also, and I'm kind of adding into some of our side conversations that we have. Obviously not on air, but
there's a lot that we cannot have on air.
Yeah, it's not safe for work. He has let me know this interesting relationship that people from Denmark have with Sweden, and I won't go into it, but just some of the things that he said is like, oh, that's what they meant. Oh, I can get that now. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing not just the food in Denmark, because I'm a foodie and I love trying new things, but I'm also interested to see like some of their take on backpacking meals and stuff like that. So also, like, if you're listening to this episode on day one or when it comes out, so thank you to all maybe 23 of you that listen to our podcast.
We've moved up to 23 now.
We're maybe up to 23. Make sure that you check out our Facebook group, because we are looking at doing some sort of either Facebook Live or YouTube Live while we are there. So please catch up with us and join us if you can't make it over there. What's the time difference between us and Denmark?
It's either a 5 or 6 hour time difference.
Okay, so just more, maybe we'll try a morning, and maybe we'll try an afternoon.
They're either 5 or 6 hours ahead of us.
Okay, so it's late for us as per usual, so I don't really feel like doing the math. And I'm on spring break, so I'm not doing that.
So right now, okay, so it's 11:16 here at night. So it'd be like 6:16 or no. Yeah, hold on.
Again.
Yes, they're
math
ahead
teacher
of
me
us.
Screaming,
yes.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
So it's like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 there. Yeah. I was going backwards.
It's all gravy. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Numbers are hard.
Products of the American education system. It's okay. But anyway, so
I'm educated, I promise.
So
Lake County schools. Woohoo!
Yeah. So we talked about food. Food went really well. It's actually, my wife said we could have brought more snacks, because apparently we ran out of snacks. And that's something that I will suggest with taking kids or maybe other family members that tend to get hangry and eat people alive when they get hungry. Bring snacks. Snacks can be the make or break. But on the flip side, no one died. No one got yelled at. We'll go with that. But it's the first backpacking trip.
It's awesome. It's beneficial to you that no video is being shown here.
Yeah, it was the only backpacking trip that I've ever gone on that I did not take food out, except for what was left over of that corn chowder and that kale and white bean chili. Like, we could eat it, but obviously we had to pack it out. So that was the heaviest thing in my bag, was like two full servings of like soup that I'm taking out just because we were going to eat it.
So are your next backpacking trip, are you going to take that brand with you out there, or are you just going to try the rest that you have at home?
No, I'll take it out. However, the ones that I've already, like, I think I've got one more of the white bean and one more of the corn chowder. I may try to trade those, although anybody that listens to the podcast, they might be like, no, that tastes like butt. You said it tastes like butt.
Yeah,
maybe
here,
I'll
smell
just give it away. Maybe I'll just donate it to one of the raffles that we go to. It's fine.
I'll sprawl.
Yeah, Heather, this is all yours. Just throw it in the raffle. Just say Hank on donated it. It's fine.
Oh God.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying more Peak Refuel stuff. And I know everyone raves about Packet Gourmet. I've never tried any of their stuff. Just because
they usually sponsor Hangcon.
They do.
I've
got
never.
coupons.
I haven't tried
anything for them, and ordering backpacking food takes a lot of like pre-planning, and as smooth and as organized as Hangcon may appear to people, I am not that person. So the fact that it does is a miracle just in itself. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying some more Peak Refuel, and if you know a particular brand and you have a hookup, we'd love to try some different things, and hopefully I've got a ton of stuff that I can bring back from Denmark to try out as well. So, and obviously I'll do a real video on one of our trips that we're doing. So.
I do have to say real quick, I just thought of this the other day because I remember hearing it. Actually, I think I saw one of their videos.
Yeah.
One of Peak Refuel's videos.
Mm-hmm.
Before, you used to have, the regular meals like the pesto chicken and the Alfredo chicken and, all that stuff. And then they had their specialties, which was the Chad Mendez signature meals. And they were only available at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, I think they're available all the time now, which is sitting here looking at a couple of them now. They got the creamy peaches and oats for the breakfast, but then for like the dinners, they have backcountry bison bowl and venison country casserole.
Both
so
of
it's
those
more of the
delicious.
It's more the, I mean, with it being the Chad Mendez, it's more of the game
Like game, yeah.
Game type meals.
I would totally pound those. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they sound really good.
So yeah, I do have to get some.
So I would say, like, for those that are looking to do like a family trip, really, really think about your food. Food will be the make or break of your trip. We also packed some like Slim Jim-esque type of beef sticks. I think they were like chicken sausage or something like that. It was some like healthy organic crap. But no, they were good. I ate one of them. We also took some like Nature's Own fruit and dark chocolate bars that I kind of ate too. That worked out really well for just like snacking away, because kids get hungry and they go through crazy, and then when your lunch turns out to be poo poo, you have something to eat too. So
turns out to be what?
Turns out to be poo poo, because that's poo poo. That's what it was. So yeah, let's move on from food. So packing. So that was another kind of thing that we had to make. I kind of had to call an audible as we were packing up the night before or the morning of. So we kind of just, this was a last minute thing, which for those of you that know how my family runs, is not something that we do. We usually have a long thought out plan and process. Not me personally, but I'm just involved in it. This was like a day before. Hey, we're going to do this. Okay, well, can I get stuff? All right, I'll start packing the night before, and then next morning we'll get everything loaded up, and we're just going to hit the trailhead when we get there. So we had this plan, and we're supposed to leave that morning, and we start packing stuff in bags, and I'm just like, this ain't gonna fit. This little tiny backpack that you got, it's not gonna work. My wife has I forget exactly what size it was. It's an Osprey that she took on her 14er hike that she did this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just kind of like it's a very large day pack essentially. And we thought we could make that work. We definitely could not make that work. So luckily I had an old REI Flash 45 backpack that I used to hike with before I got my other Ospreys. So my son, so she used that. My son used my Osprey Atmos 50. Yeah, Atmos 50, which super comfortable pack. Not the lightest pack in the world, but super comfortable.
Right.
And then I had my Exos 48, which I think it's the large. It ends up being like 50 anyway. And my daughter, oh man, we were really worried about this one because she was going to take, my son had this also kind of glorified day pack that we're going to put stuff in. And we're just like, hey, a hammock and a quilt is not going to fit in that pack. And if we have to carry more and more of your gear, it's not going to fit in our packs, or it's just going to make our packs like heavy. So luckily I had just bought, like REI did their 20% off sale or 20% off an outlet item. So I bought this, I want to say it's a 38 liter pack. Just for, I was thinking, all right, so how can I make like a hammock, not really a bug out bag because I'm not really that guy, but I was thinking about putting together a hammock camping, for lack of a better term, a bug out bag, just so I could throw in my truck to say, hey, you want to go camping this weekend? Yeah. All right. Well, everything's packed. Let's go. So I'm not, getting home from school and packing up everything. Everything is already ready to go with the exception of quilts. Throw a set of quilts in. Boom. I can be off. So that's what I was going to use that for. Well, she ended up using that. and it kind of worked. We made a stop by Walmart and we stocked up on smart water bottles. Everybody got 2 smart water bottles, and we made it work. The only thing is, we ended up having to take the 2 smart bottles away from my daughter because the weight of the water was just too much, and she was dying. She was dying. I mean, she was fine, but when we took the water away, it made the 3.5 mile trek a lot less cumbersome from her. So she wasn't breaking her back and looking like a slave hauling big boulders to build the pyramids. That's what it looked like. I kept saying, hey, when you walk, if you walk with your back straight, it puts a lot more weight on your hips and it's a lot more comfortable. No, it was like she was.
Yeah, but again, you said she was using a backpack that you just use as a bug out bag.
Yes, it was.
So it wasn't fitted for her anyhow.
It was not fitted for her. It was not a big pack, but it definitely wasn't fitted for her.
But I mean, if that torso ain't right on a backpack, let me tell you, that makes life miserable.
Yeah, after we took the water, she was fine. No, she doesn't.
That was placebo.
She doesn't give me sympathy. No, she was fine. She was fine.
That was placebo. Taking the water away.
We'll go with that. I mean, the water was heavy. I mean, it had. I think we got the 32 ounce, or it ends up being like 33 or something like that. And so she had 2 of those. So she had 60. I mean, water's heavy, and she's 11. But after we took that out, she was fine. And when she was hiking out, she was fine. When she saw like the sign for the trailhead, it was like they had just peaked Katahdin, and it was like civilization.
When are you going to get both of the kids their own fitted pack?
I mean, my son works with the Atmos. Like he's pretty tall. He's only going to get taller. He's almost as tall as I am now. So it kind of worked for him. He didn't complain about it. And again, it's a stupid comfortable pack. I just wish it didn't weigh 4 pounds.
Yeah. Is it the AG?
Yeah.
It's the Atmos AG?
It's stupid comfortable.
Yeah, with mine, there's a lot of times that if I get tired of wearing the belt, I just undo the belt and it just sits there and hugs.
Yeah. It's a really great pack. I think for my wife, eventually, like once we get to the point where she wants to do more like backpacking, we keep tossing around the idea of doing this whole foothills trail. We actually talked about that over our trip as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she's gonna need a backpack for.
So get her the Aurora AG. That's the female version of the Atmos.
Yeah, I could. I also thought about maybe looking at some of our cottage vendors as well. We have a lot of Osprey stuff, and I've always really liked it. They've got a lifetime warranty, so that's good. But we've got some really great cottage vendors, and I want to see them talk to her.
Well, I mean, I do remember. I gotta get me another pack just to have. And
of course you do.
Shut up, AJ. I know when Heavy Threads sent their pack for the raffle.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I had to put it on and try it.
Like you do.
That was a comfortable pack.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to. I gotta order me one.
Like I don't like my Exos is light enough to be like the old. I think it's 2 pounds, so it's fine. I can't really justify another pack, even though I really want a ULA home. I don't know why.
ULA's nice. I mean, I got a Z pack. I got a Z pack.
Yeah,
and it's very, very light.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I said, we got Heavy Threads. We have Red Paw packs.
Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of really great vendors that make really great packs.
Yeah.
So Osprey, if you want to throw us a bone here, I have a lot of your packs. No, I really would like to go with a cottage vendor for hers. Her only thing is she really likes to try it before she buys it because she wants it adjusted to like her. And that's not
Well,
something
yeah,
that,
you have to be fitted for them. You got to
yeah,
have
you have to be
your
fitted. Yeah.
torso measured and all that for it to fit right.
Yeah.
I mean, because
But-
you can have two people that are the same height, but they have different torso lengths.
Yeah. So that's in our foreseeable future. Not anything like off the.
Do you know how to measure? I mean, you can measure for her torso.
I'm sure I could look it up on YouTube.
It's easy.
I'm sure I could figure it out.
It's
Numbers
easy.
aren't hard. Well, maybe for some. But,
I know they are for you.
That's why I teach math. So we got packs were good. We got all of our stuff out there. We got everybody set up. I am really pushing. My son can pretty much set everything up on himself. He's been out with me enough, and he's been enough car camping and to use hammocks that he can pretty much set up his whole rig himself. The only exception was the continuous ridge line for his tarp. He was kind of a little uncertain about, but once I showed him how I set mine up, he was fine.
Right.
So that's
Gotcha.
great. My wife is really wanting me to give her less and less direction because she said, "Hey, we're going to Denmark. We're going to be doing a lot more of this hammock camping trips," which yay for getting her on board finally.
Right.
So she wants to be able to.
Does she still like the hammock?
She is. Okay. So she is pretty much adopted the Dutchware Banyan as her hammock.
Okay.
She likes a bridge just because she's a side sleeper, and with her hips, she has to sleep on her side. She has a whole system of going to bed every night, so it works for her.
And the Banyan works good for her.
It works good, yeah.
Good.
And she likes, because the Banyan that I have, it also has the winter cover that she likes on it as well, even when it's not dark or even when it's not cold, because she likes
the darkness.
How'd
that work out for you this weekend?
It did not. The moon was not full. It was like either a waxing or a waning gibbous, so not exact full. But sweet fancy Moses, it was like on coke or something, because it was like a flashlight. There was no distinguishable difference in light from, I don't know, maybe 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. Like, you didn't even need a headlight. It was so flippin' bright. It was obnoxiously bright. When you get like, oh man, can you just turn that light off? Like, all right, so when we're at Florida Sands, that light that we can't turn off because it's emergency light, the moon was like that light. It was just cutting through. And I use my Dyneema tarps, which blocks zero light.
Yeah. I was going to say, that don't block anything.
It doesn't block squat. So
it's like trying to block it with
glass,
monolite or something.
Yeah, it was
monolite fabric.
So, in the way that we were set up, she was the furthest out, so she didn't have anything blocking the light. So when the moon would rise and cut right across the trees or the hill, but it would take like 30 or 45 minutes before it would go above where her tarp started. She's like, it was like someone shined a flashlight in my eyes. So
were y'all all on trees, or did you take stands?
No, we were on trees. On trees.
All right.
So we talked about the packing. Everybody worked good. We didn't leave anything. Everybody had everything that they needed. So that was good. Yeah, you never know. Like, you're taking 3 brand new people. It's like, oh, well, what did I forget? For me, like, I'll just make do. But for someone that's never been backpacking, that can really be a kick in the crotch for, somebody. They may not know how to adapt.
Right.
So luckily we didn't have to do that.
That's good.
We had everything. The new experience for everybody was was quite comical, and hopefully my family isn't listening to this podcast. But so we got to poop in the woods.
Yay!
This was this.
Did you have to buy the book?
No. I this was a conversation we had like numerous times throughout the entire weekend. It was just a matter of when. So everyone got a new experience. So we had to have the whole like, all right, well, you take a trowel and you dig your hole deep enough, and you want to dig it big enough so you can hit your mark, because no one wants to be that person. Go where you're hidden and you can feel comfortable,
and then nobody's gonna walk later.
Yeah, you're not walking there later. The whole squatting thing, that was it made for a lot of conversations. I'm not going to say which one of us struggled the most with it, but it brought a lot of interesting conversations.
You ought to get that what is it, the crap strap?
The crap
strap. Have you seen that?
Was, like, where they were going, there wasn't any like trees, so you couldn't hang a crab strap to a bunch of palmetto bushes. Just wouldn't work out.
You better be careful with those palmetto bushes.
Oh, I know. That could be bad.
Look, those little guinea wasps love hiding and building their nest on the bottom.
So do pygmy rattlers. But
yeah,
I didn't tell them that. Spoiler alert, family.
Get stung in the rear end by a whole gaggle of freaking pygmy wasps.
Yeah. Ugh. But the poop conversation happened a lot, so that was fun. Another good thing that you want to make sure that your kids have something to do while you're there, especially they're not going to camp like us. They're not going to go out and be like, I'm going to take a nap. Like, that doesn't happen. So it was nice being at Hidden Pond. They had the pond that they could go to. They had some little offshoot trails that, we could go along and explore kind of how all those are interconnected, which is something that I did this time that I've not done before. And so it was nice to see how some of the, how you could get to some of the campsites there without having to go the long way around. And we discovered a lot of really cool campsites there that were even better. We got the experience of filtering water. So that was cool. Even though that's something that I literally hate doing. And I am totally investing in a full-size regular Sawyer filter. I'm done with the minis. Done. Do
you not like the minis?
I do not like the minis.
Why don't you like the minis?
The minis, for me, now some people have excellent luck with them. The minis for me are like buying a tool at Harbor Freight. It works great once, and then it breaks or something. Like, it just, it just doesn't. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. Like, the full size Sawyer is so much better. I will take the extra weight if I'm using something. And
you should have, see, if you had let me know that you was going out there, I would have given you one of the Puri bags.
Oh yeah. Again, that whole pre-planning that I don't do. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, that there you just scoop up the water and then throw some of the tablets in there and let it sit for X amount of time, and then you just go over to the bag and open up the spout and
the water
put it in your
cup. It was a good learning experience for my kids and for my wife, because she'd never done it before either. But yeah, also, so I had made kind of like this DIY gravity filter with like a dry bag and stuff like that. And so I was using that. My wife was using her full-size Sawyer with the Sawyer bags.
Okay.
I forgot how much I do not like using the bags. Yeah, filling those suckers are a pain in the butt. Like the little hole that you gotta get all the way, but it worked. I would definitely invest in something like a CNOC or something like that you could just take a big old swig out of the water source and just.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, C knock or the Puree bag or Rapid Pure.
Or I mean, even like Platypus, I think you could use some of their hydration bladders and make yourself an easy gravity filter that you can just hang. You're good to go. So that would be the way that I would go. But I mean, it was fun. The kids enjoyed doing it. Well, maybe I wouldn't say enjoy, but they didn't fuss about it, so that was good. I always whine and complain about filtered water just because I hate doing it. Let's see. So that was fun. I still stand by the fact that I am so glad that I bought a Ursac. The fact that I did not have to hang a bear bag either time that I went out there.
What do you do? Just tie it to a tree?
I just tied it to a tree. It was, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. I hate throwing a bear line.
Which Ursac do you have?
I just have the
Almighty?
Ursac Major.
Okay, so it's not the Almighty?
No.
Okay.
And again, just with the Ursac Major, I had food for 4 people for 2 dinners, 2 breakfasts, and 1 lunch plus snacks. And I probably still had maybe a little bit of room. Plus, we had like stuff for coffee and like drink mixes.
Do you put the scent-proof bags in it?
No.
No, okay.
But I mean, that was plenty big for the 4 of us, so that could definitely work for me on 3 or 4 days on a trail. But totally would take an Ursac over a bear bag any day.
Why?
In areas
do you just
you're allowed to have.
Do you not like hanging a bear bag?
I hate hanging. There's nothing like hard about it. I mean, sometimes it's a pain in the butt to get the tie a weight to the end and throw it up there. Then your line gets tangled, and then you're fussing and cussing and trying to get the line down, and sometimes they get stuck, and they're just a pain. But I like that I can just loop it around, tie a square knot, and it's done. So much better. No headache. No, nobody's getting hit in the head with a rock that you've thrown up and you're trying to catch, and medevac has to be flown in, and it's so much better. It's just so much better. But yeah, so they got that experience. My wife and my daughter, they brought their Kindle. They're avid readers. And my son had a book that he brought, so because they read. Coming from a teacher standpoint, I'm sure that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah. So they did that. I took a nap. It was glorious. Another piece of gear that I got here recently that I thoroughly enjoyed more than I would. I bought a Pheonix Zero chair.
Okay.
And it's stupid light, and I will totally take it. I didn't think I would like it because it sits really low to the ground, and I definitely wouldn't have liked it 200 pounds ago. But I can get down. I can get down with the Pheonix Zero now. It was nice, just being a little bit up off the ground. I had a nice little back, and it packs down small, and it's like a pound. Okay. So that will definitely be a luxury that I will eat.
There you go. I actually got my underquilt in, my hammock gear underquilt.
Oh yeah.
That came in, and so now I have me this here's one of the long standard fill and everything. You got a quilt in too, didn't you?
I did. So let me talk about this experience. So I ordered a quilt from George at Loco Libre, sent it, and I got it. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't have something that I ordered, and maybe it was just something that I forgot. So I looked like, oh no, I ordered it. It was great. I sent George an email. He gave me a call. In lickety split, he's like, just send it back. I'll remake the entire quilt and send it to you within a couple days. Boom, boom, to my door yesterday or the day before yesterday. Unfortunately, it was not here before we left, but that's fine. I'll get to use it this coming weekend. Such great customer service. Reason number 892 why I love Loco Libre quilts.
What's even funny what's funny about it though is when he tried reaching out to you, he didn't get an answer.
Yeah,
so he called me. He called me and he's like, "Hey, quick question for you, Paul." He goes, "AJ ordered a quilt and I forgot to put the what was it, draft collar or something on it?"
Draft collar, yeah.
He goes, "I forgot to put the draft collar on it, so I got to make him another one." He goes, "So I'm trying to get in touch with him." He goes, "I've tried to call him a couple of times, but I'm not getting answers. He usually, pretty good at returning calls and stuff." I told him, I was like, "Well, I go with, in teaching and after school activities and stuff like that. I go, sometimes, it can be a little while before, he answers or whatever."
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, I go, as soon as I hang up with you, I'll call him and, see if I can't get through to him. Maybe he just didn't recognize your number and, thought maybe it was spam or something like that and didn't answer it. And so we're sitting there talking and he's like, "Wait, hold on. Nope, he just messaged me back."
Yeah, he had called me. I had a middle school function. Some of my former students, they were doing some stuff, so I was out there for that. Then the second day that he called me, it was my wife's birthday, and I kind of had to, But no, amazing customer service. I actually have not even opened up the box yet, so I might be doing a unboxing video for our channel on that. But I'm crazy excited about this quilt.
Yeah, he does awesome work. He's gonna be down here in Florida. I think in April.
He needs to be in Florida in January. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I'm still trying.
George, if you're hearing this, you should be at HangCon.
Come back to HangCon.
We love you. In fact,
we're gonna have him on in a couple of episodes.
We're gonna get George on, and if you haven't seen some of his quilts are literally works of art.
That's what I told him.
Impeccable. It's just really great. It's just really great. And I've been really wanting this top quilt for a long, long time. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
His quilts are definitely worth the money.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so everybody with the exception of my son, stayed warm for the most part. The quilts that he were using, I don't know, they might need to be washed or fluffed up or something like that. So, he wasn't roasty toasty warm. But everybody else slept warm. So yeah. So making sure that your family is as comfortable as possible, especially for the newbies. You want to make them as comfortable as they humanly can. For example, my wife's very first full night in a hammock was at HangCon 2 years ago when it got down to like 27 degrees. So I threw everything that I possibly could at her. It's like she had a 0 degree underquilt. She had a 0 degree top quilt. She had a winter cover. She had a tarp with doors. It was like, if you get cold in this setup, you might as well be a dead body because you are just ice cold.
Right.
Like I made sure everything was spot on, and she slept fine, as fine as she could, being the first night in the hammock. But so I'm going to be making the video. It's probably going to already be out. So please go check that out. Some of my kids' reactions to the trip, some of my reactions to the trip.
So you got them on video as well?
I did. Got them just talking about their highs and lows and or something that they would change but yeah.
What about Dawn?
What's that?
What about Dawn?
We'll see. Well, she's going to have to be an after edit.
After edit.
Yeah. She wanted to make sure that everybody would make it alive. So luckily we did. We ended up at Bojangles. Everybody got ice cream afterwards. Yeah. Which is hands down the best chicken in the South. And that's a hill that I will die on. So as I was saying, we did not forget anything, but I did forget to do something that I would suggest anyone doing, for one, that lives in the South for the most part. And definitely, if you go to the Ocala National Forest, you need to do this. I did not treat my gear with permethrin before we left. Not that I am in short supply of any permethrin. I have a few bottles. Let's just say a few. However, I did not treat my gear, which is a mistake that I will not be making this coming week when we are back in that general area. We will be at Indian Lake State Park for a bushcraft event. My gear will definitely be treated. I did not, and I probably suffered the worst, but I got maybe like 2 ticks on me. But they lit up a particular general area of my body that here, Paul, I will show you, but I
do not want to see. I do not want. Did you now? Yeah, did you say general area or genital
we'll just say
area?
General area, because they lit it up. Yeah. I've got my Benadryl cream on right now, and I'm lathering it up. But they also, my son didn't get any that were attached, but my daughter got 2 and my wife got 1. But they lit my butt up.
Hopefully you checked your daughter's hair real well.
Oh,
because she has a lot of hair.
She has a lot of hair. She has a lot of hair. No, we were good in that sake, but yeah. Be tick aware. Be bear aware. I've been to the Ocala National Forest, the highest concentration of black bear in the country. I've never seen one. Be tick aware, because them suckers are everywhere.
Yeah.
And the more that it just heats up, the worse that they get. They're always bad out there, especially where we were in a pine grove. They just like the pine trees. So yeah. That was probably my biggest mistake for the whole weekend. I thought it went really well. The hike was, like I said, 3.5 miles. It was long enough to feel like that you get a hike in.
Sure.
But it wasn't, unless you talked about daughter before we took the water off, it wasn't enough to like kill my kids. And my wife, enjoyed it. I think like with hiking in Florida, for some of the other places that we have been, like Shenandoah, like Glacier, like the Rocky Mountains. I don't mean to do this in a trashy way for Florida, but I mean, Florida is kind of trashy, but you just have to curb your expectations for hiking in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, for what you're going to be seeing. You're not going to be seeing these huge vistas, but you just got to really appreciate what you do see. Like, the swamps can be really pretty. You just need to know what you're looking for. I just thought it was really cool. So we had the wildfires that came through.
Right.
Just seeing some of the bark of some of the palmetto bushes that had burnt, it looked really cool and almost like a dragon's tail, and just different things like that. Like, look for the small things.
Right.
But no, it was a good trip. And everybody said that they would do it again. So, and no one died.
Plus.
Everyone pooped in the woods and no one died.
That's awesome. It's good that they're wanting to go back out.
Absolutely.
So, all right, does that pretty much wrap it up with your story? You covered everything. You covered your food. You covered the having everything, the pooping in the woods, the tick on the genitals, general area.
The general area. The general area. Yeah.
The genital area.
So yeah, I mean, if anybody has any more questions or ideas that you want to maybe like get your family and your kids out there, feel free to send me a message. I know that a few people have sent me messages over the past few weeks asking about various things. Send a message. I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. So yeah, I'll be happy to help you guys out. It's all about getting those kids and maybe that apprehensive spouse into the woods, so Absolutely. You can spend more money on hammock gear, right?
Sure. That's I mean, that's
it
what
pays
I do.
off. Like, it's paying off now. It was a long 5-year investment that's finally paying off.
I mean, do have to say with the amount of hammocks you have, that's one big family.
I could outfit a scout troop for the most part. Not with quilts, but with, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So just make sure to come back, and here's in a couple of weeks for the next episode, which
and
should
hopefully
be
we'll make it back from Denmark.
That should be the next episode that y'all hear should be the Denmark episode. So, all right. So take care, everybody. As we gently sway out of another hammock-filled episode, we want to thank you, our wonderful listeners, for hanging out with us on the Hammock Hangers podcast. We hope that you have found relaxation, inspiration, and a renewed sense of connection to nature through our discussions. Remember to keep that hammock spirit alive in your daily life, whether it's by taking a few moments to unwind in your own backyard oasis, or by planning your next hammock adventure in the great outdoors. Embracing the tranquility, embracing the simplicity, and never forget the joy that comes from simply hanging around. Before we part ways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all things hammock related. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for the Hammock Hangers Podcast. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to hang with you again on our next episode. Until then, stay relaxed, stay adventurous, and keep on hanging those hammocks high. From all of us here at the Hammock Hangers Podcast, we wish you peaceful hangs and endless relaxation. Thank you for tuning in. Happy hanging, everyone.